about this time.
Legacy.
Strap yourselves in.
Legacy.
Let's take you on this ride with Nexxlegacy. We a radio station for the people,
Right here for you people.
providing hella heat.
Let's go get it.
Let's get to it. Nexxlegacy Radio, we're coming through your room. Interviews on deck with guests listening to. Hashtag and imagine if it was you. What's happening? We packing with people coming through. How about you? Lace it up, we ready, providing hella heat. Turned up, we racing to it. Track meet. Y'all ready for this journey of a lifetime? This Nexxlegacy agent just like fine wine. Tune in.
Every day.
Nexxlegacy.com. Getting you ready for this interview. Let's get to it.
Radio station for the people.
Yeah. We got hella heat. We got hella heat.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, my good people. This is Nexxlegacy Radio. I am Branded here with the queen, the diva, my girl. I'm gonna tell the story real quick before I say hello and what's happening to my girl KeldaMuzik. Listen, this woman has hovered around me, known me since I was doing podcasts before podcasts became popular back in 08. She tapped into my show. We hung out. I still have old audio footage or whatnot, Kelda, of our collaborations, our conversations, all that good stuff. So this woman has known me before this Nexxlegacy brand, took flight. So she was around me then, and I've seen this woman in action doing her thing as not just a music artist, but an entrepreneur, actress, TV host, producer. You know what I mean? She's everything to me. And I've been, low key just checking her out, not really trying to, just kind of get in the middle of all things. But I was like, you know what? Today's the day, or tonight's the night to just be like, look, I need to tell this woman thank you first off, but also I'm proud of you. KeldaMuzik Diva, my guest. What's up, baby?
What is up? How you doing, Charles?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, but also I'm appreciative. Like you knowing you for the last decade plus, to see your evolution and as we reconnect and stuff like that. I'm just so proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of what you stand for. I'm proud of how you grind. It means a lot to me to see people like yourself evolve from where you were back in 08 to where you at right now. It's a blessing and then some to be able to not just have this dialogue to say thank you for the motivation, but also to tell you that I'm proud with no conditions. You know what I mean? So thank you for being you and being my motivator, low key behind the scenes too.
Oh, thank you so much. And yes, we go way, way back, and it's just crazy to though I knew back then that are still doing their thing now. So I am so proud of you as well. Kudos to you for still doing your thing. And I mean, look, that's what brings us here today.
Amen to that. And before we start catching up, because you got a lot of different lanes that you are in, and we gotta dive into your entrepreneurship and what you're doing as a producer and a founder of your business and all that stuff. But let's go back for a minute though, because we were part of what we call podcast now before it became popular. So this was back in 08. Nobody was talking about podcasts back then, but we was doing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What is your take on it now versus then?
Yeah. I think now, I think the podcast game obviously has been a thing now ever since COVID. Mm-hmm. People having to stay at home and figuring out ways to promote themselves as an entrepreneur, artist, whatever you are. And, you find it easier doing podcasts. And especially like during COVID, everybody had like the nice backgrounds, and you could tell like people were really invested in it. And even
Right.
artists performing on podcast shows. As a matter of fact, during COVID, I performed for this organization called Shelter in Place, and it was for essential workers. And I just rented out a studio and had a little audience there, and had my dancers and stuff. And we were going live in place performing. So yeah, no, it's crazy. Like you said, we've been podcasting for a long time, and now it's becoming popular. Like, hey, this is the new thing. It's like
Yeah.
this has been the thing, really.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's crazy to see nowadays, and I still feel like there's people still in the game because they want to get good journalism out, good content. Everybody's got different something, right? Everybody has some content that they want to put and push out. But also, I want to dive into you as a journalist as well, because you're active in creating content, news, different things for the people, and stuff like that as an artist as well. Your thoughts on journalism, not just for just period, but even women journalism in 2023. How you feeling?
Uh, as a woman who contributes to that industry, creating content is the thing to do, and on my business website, I have stories that I post, or stories that I post in a blog on my website. And so I just make sure to touch on all the latest trends and topics there. And I make it relative to my fan readers, my viewers, and I've gained more fans actually from that aspect of the industry. But people love to read. Don't ever underestimate people, middle-aged people love to read. And especially when you're reading something on a, digital device or whatever, like it's just, you could be anywhere and just, oh, what about this article that popped up, or which book? And I go out of my way talk about that. Not everybody's talking about sometimes. And
Right.
Not too long ago, I did the hair story, and I was just talking about my hair and females that look like me that have my kind of hair, and I just talk about how a lot of us struggle with our hair, and we try to find different solutions, to keep our hair up with the trends and everything, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But it could be hard sometimes. So in my story, I talk about, if you're on a bum and you could still look like, Beyonce, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, you know what I mean? But the story is really informative. And so I encourage you guys to go on my website to view that story and a whole bunch of others that I've written about.
Yep. And if they can't see it now, they'll see it then. It's scrolling on our ticker. KeldaMuzik.com is the website for people to go and check out, as well as all social medias. And Diva, I'm gonna ask, like I said, 08, it was really kind of like the evolution or the beginning of Instagram. Twitter was already hovering around for the most part. Facebook was there. Now it's a massive thing. To what you said, getting new content out. Literally, you can be on an airplane, or you can scroll and get news like on your phone. Content is deeper than it's ever been, but we still see a lot of different recycled situations pop off as well. What keeps you fresh? Because I don't see, you rinse, recycle, repeat. Is that what they call it? I don't see you doing that, not just on your website, but just in general. You're always coming up with creative stuff. So what keeps you motivated in doing that? Because that's all I used to see right now. Rinse, recycle, repeat. But you don't do that.
Right.
Tell us how.
No, I don't. The thing is, when you are an active artist, you have more things to write about. Same way when we write our songs, right? It's based on experience. And so, same thing when it comes to writing and publishing stories. I talk about my berets called Tams. Go to weartams.com if you want to purchase one. But I talk about the fashion industry now as well, because I've dabbled into that part of the game. And I talk about fashion shows, what happens behind the scenes. How does it feel to be a model when you're really not a model? Because what I do now is I take all my customer base who purchase my berets and I put them in my fashion show or fashion shows. And so I blog about that. I just blog about anything that other people have uh, they proofread my stories before they go published. But
Right.
Yeah, I just when you're active doing what you love, you have a lot to talk about.
There's always a clear indication of the way the world is moving right now. There's always something to say. Somebody's got an opinion about something, good, bad, or indifferent. Everybody got something to say about everything. It could be the highs of the highs, the lows of the lows, somewhere in between. So much gray area. It's always something. But you brought up Wear Tams though, so people out there on IG and people out there listening, go check out Wear Tams, WEARTAMZ. How did that business come off? I mean, I know you mentioned it a little bit though, so give your
Yeah.
business some love and how to get started.
Yeah. So again, during the pandemic, we all tried to stay busy doing something, and especially, to keep the cash flow coming.
Yeah.
I said, well, it seems like it's really competitive in the makeup industry, in the wig industry, nails, uh, jewelry. And I'm like, dang, I can't really compete with that, because then I would need to know what I'm talking about when I'm promoting that. Like all the
Mm-hmm.
ingredients that you would put in a lipstick or eyeshadow, eyeliner, whatever, and I don't really know about that kind of stuff. And um, that would take time out of my schedule to go study what that is. So I said,
Right.
you know what? At first I said, I want to come up with a crown, because, us queens, we always talking about wearing our crowns and, keeping our head up high, standing proud, being empowered, motivated. But I was like, crowns might be a little bit too much, and not everybody would just wake up wanting to throw on a crown and just leave the house. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like if you wanted to go out and, dress nice or go to a club or hang out with some friends, whatever. That's when you take the time to put on a crown. So I was like, forget
Mm-hmm.
that. I said, what about a beret? I said, no one in the hip hop community, Black community, or pop culture has ever promoted a beret.
Nah.
And
Right.
so, yeah. And so it was a genius idea. And the second I put it out there, the sales were just like boom. You know what I mean? And I started to get calls to host fashion shows, co-produce fashion shows featuring my berets. And then I'd have a little vending spot, and now I'm selling berets, promoting, performing, you know what I mean? So it's like, creating this kind of merchandise has really opened doors for me,
Yeah.
not only in the fashion industry, but also to just in other areas of the entertainment industry, like, working behind the scenes, obviously. And so, and I've been meeting a lot of great people through these berets, and just to see the extent and appreciate that women have when they wear these berets, it just really, it gives me, what's the word? it gives me confirmation that I did the right thing. I created the right
Okay.
product. And at first I was just marketing them towards women, but then men started wearing them too. I would have male models come up to me during the fashion shows and they're like, hey, can I buy a beret? Can I wear a beret on the runway? And I was like, okay, well, I do have some, masculine colors, I guess, I
Right.
mean, unless you want to wear a pink beret, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
the macho guys that would come up to me and be like, let me get a beret. I'm like, okay, cool. I got brown. I got, black. What do you want? And dudes start wearing them too. So I'm
That's
really
what's
happy
up.
that I came up with this accessory.
That's what's up. You gave birth to a business during the pandemic where everybody was just, standing still, trying to reflect, trying to figure out what does life look like, things like that. I always
Mm-hmm.
hear stories about giving birth to certain things in the midst of chaos, and sometimes you get the best of who you are when you're faced with certain adversity, and then you get some people who still trying to find out and figure their way. So you were able to champion a situation, despite the constant, unknown as far as what we were facing during that time. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's important for people to realize and understand, because I could get motivated just by listening to what you said and be like, you know what, I got to do something myself. So what can I do today and motivate too, just so I can keep up with you. Um, but also, let me take it back to music, because you've been doing
Yeah.
music since I've known you as well. So, I saw something on your IG and I saw a couple
Yeah.
of things. What do you got going on right now as far as that goes? And how are you feeling globally with music?
I, I didn't hear that last part. I'm sorry. It like froze.
No worries, no worries. Nah, you got music literally always every ever since I've known you. You've always been music, music, music,
Yeah.
music. You got some stuff going on right now. Tell the people how are you still managing to do all these 50 million things and add music to your life as well?
Well, music is what brought me into this game to do all these things that I'm doing now, from,
Uh
producing
huh.
films, acting in films. Now I'm going to star in a play, and then the berets. But what I like to do now is release a single every quarter and promote that as if it were an album, because I think the game is shifting in a different direction where people really don't want to listen to a full album all the time, or
Yeah.
you have to bait people in for a long time with promoting a single before they could truly fall in love with you and want to listen to your album.
Right.
So that's how I pretty much only writing, like four songs a year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I also re-release a couple of my songs on other people's compilations. Recently, I was working with Kafani. He's not with us right now, but he will be hopefully in the next couple years or so. But I was working with him, and I was opening up for him, Keith Sneak, Adrian Marcel. Um, I was doing shows with Kafani, and the last song that him and I recorded was called Mind Sex, and that premiered on
Mm-hmm.
BET Jams in January. So yeah, I when I make music now, it's really like I think about my performances, my set, and I also think about licensing and music placement opportunities. Um,
Right.
my song that I had with Eddie Projects that I released, back in 2010 or whatever, that
Mm-hmm.
got placed on Atlanta Housewives a few years ago, right before
I
COVID hit.
remember. I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah. So I'm just like, you know what? The best way to make your money as an artist right now is through shows, endorsements, merchandising, and music placements. And and that's now, like, when I create music, that's what I have in mind now. What do commercials want? What do music supervisors want? What do movies want? What part of the song would they really like to cut out and place in their piece of content. So, you know, music is my first love. And as a matter of fact, I'm sorting out some beats right now, and I'm trying to do an EP, and again, just release each song individually, and you know, see where that goes.
How you talk about it, the way you smile when you talk about it, you're passionate about what you do. I love the fact that you
Yes.
do that because I get chills when I hear you talk, and I do that, and I'm saying this to say I'm going to go back because I think the people need to know exactly how you became you right now because you're working your ass off. You're doing so many different things right now. Whereas there's some people out there who's just fixated on one. But
Yeah.
how do you stay motivated though? Like inspire some of these young men who are looking at life a little differently and they may need Kelda to be able to inspire them to be able to keep moving in different directions.
Yeah, you have to want to do this. This needs to be something that it's a hobby for you, but you're working towards it not being a hobby anymore, right? And so, long time ago, that's what I thought. And as the industry, especially, hip hop, we continue to have new artists release music every day, not to mention the independent artists, not to mention the aspiring artists. You have to figure out ways to distinguish yourself from the next artist. So from it off as a kid in acting and modeling, and even managing some of my high school friends who wanted to be singers. So it's just I'm a busybody and like that, and that's what actually wakes me up every day. Sometimes it's hard to sleep because you just have so many things going through your head, so many project ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like when I do music, okay, cool. That motivates me to get the music placements. When I get placements, cool. That motivates me to produce my own film or TV show and use my music there and cross promote with other brands, other artists, other businesses to cross promote with me. And now we're just, scratching each other's backs. So I really just I love what I do, and I was in this business since I was 5 years old. So I can never see myself stopping. And you've seen a lot of, or we've all seen a lot of artists like that start when they're really young and they just keep going and going. You know what I mean? Like, hello, Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
Or Beyonce or Brandy, Monica. You know what I mean? They started off really young and they kept doing it because this is what they were born to do. And they're really great at what they're doing. So that's kind of the same situation that I see as myself,
I think it's a need for people to understand too that, while some people contemplate on why we're here or why an individual person is here, I always look at it as like I'm here to do something while I'm still here, breathing, putting in work, trying to make an impact. I'm here for a purpose, and that purpose has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what I can do to impact somebody else. And it's not always just family; it's strangers, it's people out there that is probably and will be listening to this is going to be like, "Yo, this is a blueprint. I need to figure out myself first in order for me to be the best me possible." And sometimes the journey could be at 5 years old or at a young age, like Michael and Beyonce and Brandy, etc. But sometimes there's late bloomers too. Some people may not get it into 30s and 40s, right?
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine because this is still what you love to do, and you've been working this long to make it at 40, 50. You see a bunch of actors come out in their 40s, and you're just like, dang, where they've been all this time. And they've been in this business for a while because, you watch a bio on them or you read their IMDb page and it's like they were an extra here, they were featured here, they were a day player there. You know what I mean? And same thing with artists, who really gives really good advice. The artist Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was giving great advice, and he was just saying, if this is what you do, it doesn't matter whether you make it big or not, but you're staying busy doing this type, and you're making this become a lucrative business for yourself. So whether you're signed to a major label, independent label, major agency, or you're just doing it independently, you're still doing it, and manage your career and what you want to, the cash flow, fan base, keep the deals coming in. So yeah.
Taraji is an example. She was a late bloomer. Samuel L. was a late bloomer as well. Yep. There's a handful
Viola
of people
Davis.
who, yeah. And it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to be a part of, someone's journey and things like that too. So, a couple more questions with you as well. And one of the things that I want to ask you too is, when we do look at the landscape of, how we all move in general with who we are, where we are, what we want to do, and, the steps that you've taken yourself as far as the journey and the persistence. And you said you stay up late because you can't sleep because you're thinking about what the next move is going to be, staying 10 steps ahead and not trying to fall behind. Not everybody think like that, but I'm not saying everybody should, because everybody's going to go their own path. But you also have plays and movies and things like that. So I want to ask you about that though. Like, you're directing, you're doing certain things like that. So you got to talk about that too before we shut it down.
Yeah. So I was on the first date, and that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival last year, and now it's streaming on Hulu. Last year I was also in my first play called How Black Mothers Say I Love You, and the same director, Tanika Baptiste, shout out to her, she cast me to be a star in her latest play called Crumbs from the Table of Joy. And let me tell you, plays are no joke. You have to be at rehearsal every day for like 7 to 8 hours, and then that's just rehearsal. And we're not even talking about tech day, fitting day, and then the actual string of shows itself. So I was so proud that I did that last year, and that I stuck it out, didn't quit. And the fact that I have another opportunity to do it again, it's just amazing. So again, as an artist, that's how I distinguish myself, because I'm just working in different areas of the entertainment industry, not just music, but TV, film, plays, writing, blogging.
I heard stories from Melba Moore about plays and just the grind that you mentioned. People tend to forget it's plays are different than just being on set and acting and things like that too. So I heard those stories from someone who's done it for a long time, doing a bunch of different things like you, clearly. So it's amazing. And finally, before we wrap, I want to ask you about social media. It's always the clear blessing and a curse. It's always the clear, try not to get too fixated on it, because there's a whole outside world out there that will like you and not be so caught up in the actual the likes that you see on social media. But how do you feel about it in general right now in 2023?
I feel you make social media what it is. If you decide to put all your personal business out there, and when people throw it back in your face, that's on you. You know what I mean? Did nobody tell you to tell the world, today I woke up and my house got burnt down, my car missing, and you know what I mean? Like that's on you.
I broke up with my man or my lady because he didn't do or she didn't do XYZ. You know what I mean? Right. Like, that's crazy.
Right. Or putting people on blast, and now you got other people coming up saying, who you talking about? That's my partner, my cousin, whatever. You know what I mean? So you make social media what it is. For me, I don't get personal doing that. All I do is promote my projects, promote other people's projects, network. That's all I'm in it for. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on social media, because I don't care about like just updating the world on every single thing that I do
Tell
every
it.
day.
Tell it. Tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
and if people want to check your resume, they could literally check and see what you're speaking is true facts. You know what I mean? All they got to do is go and follow you, which is important. You know what I mean? But you're right. I look at it also as civil war. This literally can be an issue where you're putting too many people against people for no reason, and that's got to stop. Because to me, I think, and you know this as well, we're in business. We need each other. Like, I need you. We need each other. We need to help each other grow. People help people. I've always believed in that.
yeah, no, of course. And that's the benefits of social media, because now you get to meet people that you wouldn't have met, at the club or at the bar, or, at a mixer. And
Yep.
that's also what social media has helped me, especially like, performances and fashion shows and stuff like that. Like, I'm starting to meet all these different people that I didn't know exist. But
Right.
if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have met them. So if you make social media work the way you want it to make it beneficial for you and not like a backlash later, then put
Hmm.
out the content that is going to give you positive vibes and not negative vibes.
Yeah. And Kelda, we're too close in proximity, and we know probably pretty much the same people. So even though we met through radio in '08, we were destined to get to certain places together in a sense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
as we wrap, I want you to tell people where to go. Website. I still believe in driving traffic to websites, not just social
Yeah.
media. So
Oh, yeah.
you can give it all out.
Oh,
Give your website, your social media, and your website again. Because I believe when there's no Instagram or no Facebook or no Twitter, they need to go to your website.
yes. And as you know, that could happen. And that's happened before, where Twitter just shuts down, Facebook, and whatever. So I like to call it my home. Visit me at KeldaMuzik.com for my music videos. You'll get to stream my music. You'll see all the latest news about Thames. You'll see the Thames website, my company website, Diggs Media Group, LLC. So yeah, visit the website and you'll get to know all about me and be in my world.
And as people continue to help people, I will put Kelda's business information up there, not just websites on my website, but also direct some traffic to your business, because I want to see you grow. So I'm going to put this out there for the people. Anybody within this quarter, because we're still entering second quarter. So the next almost 3 months, anybody that buys something from my queen with Tams will get a $25 Amazon gift card that Kelda and I will put together and make sure that we get it to the proper people in general. So, again, it's people helping people. And, y'all got to show my young lady receipts that it was done so we can go ahead and make that
Right.
happen. That's what we do here,
Yes,
baby. We share the wealth,
that's right. That's right.
and
That's what
not
we're
just
here for.
financial. And not just financial though. We do it all.
Exactly. I'm with
Yeah.
it. I'm down and I'm here.
And I want to not just thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you for, just the years that I've known you and I've watched you grow and evolve. Just thank you for continuing to, as I said earlier, push motivation from people you didn't even know. Like, we've been in each other's lives for this amount of time, but I've been low key just cheering
Right.
you on. But then I'm getting out there in this arena myself so I can be able to grow and evolve myself. You know what I mean? I want to come back to the table and be like, Kelda, look what I've done from where I was 13 years ago, 14 years ago, or whatnot. So you
For
can be
sure.
proud too and be motivated just like
Yeah.
I'm motivated by you. You know what I mean? So thank you
We
for the
motivate each
years
other.
and true. The years and the years that's continuing on, because this thing don't stop. Even when we're gone, this will still, this business, this entity and who we are will not cease when we leave. This will be picked up and carried on by others. And that's why we're still fighting a good fight.
That's right. Got to leave that legacy behind,
Damn right. Damn right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelda, I'll be in touch with you about all things and everything that has promotional attachments to your business and the Amazon hookup you're about to get. But thank you again for blessing me. I'm a well, you already got my number, but I'm gonna DM you my info. But also I want you to be a part of all things Nexxlegacy moving forward, just like I want to be a part of all things under the KeldaMuzik brand. And I just want to see evolution, not just for you and I, but for everybody. Everybody get to work though. We still got work to do.
We still do. We still do. And we have nothing but time. So let's do it.
Amen to that. Love you, Queen.
All right. Love you.
I'll be at you.